Hello, viewers. Welcome to another episode of Riverside Council. I'm your host, Caroline Bithe, and with me today is not really a visitor, sababu tumekuwa naye for a period of time. So, Gloria, just introduce yourself to our viewers.
Thank you. Hello, viewer. Gloria Mugallo here. God's delight. Yeah, I'm very passionate about purity.
Okay.
I talk about it a lot.
We're going to talk about teens. We're still on the topic of sexuality, that is.
Okay.
But today we want to talk about teens and sexuality. You know, teens are the people wenye wameanza ku experience the physical and emotional changes. And you find they behave in a funny way when that starts happening in the body. Let's first talk of the physical changes. How should a parent handle such a child? Because, you know, like girls, wananza, they are just shy, wanataka kujificha, they start putting on those baggy sweaters. How should a parent approach such a teen?
Yeah, first of all, if you've been following our series, once you've started it from childhood, grooming your kid from the time they're children, they're young, you won't find it an issue because already you are a friend to your teenager. You are so bonded, like they won't be afraid to share anything, any changes. I like being very practical. I remember when I started my menses, I wasn't ready. I didn't know. I woke up one day and found my bed red. But I didn't think of any other better person to call than my mom. Actually, like, Mom, when she came, she smiled. I said, it's okay. Go to the bathroom, fold your things, and she told me what to do. So you find if you are in that family setup and your child is already bonded with you, you're close, it is not something to be ashamed of. When kids, nowadays I see kids, right from 10, 9, sometimes when 9, the teeth start coming out and they're like shying away and all that. One of the things I think we need to help children understand, even prior to that moment, that when it gets to this stage, you will start seeing this, boy, your voice will break a bit, girl, you start seeing the teeth, and there'll be these particular changes that you will expect to see. So when they come, don't be afraid. It's okay. It's a part of growth. Just the way a kid is born without teeth, with time they start 2 here, 4, and they keep on increasing. In the same way, our bodies transition and grow like that.
Okay, let me cut you short. Should this start right from childhood? Should a parent start sharing that right from childhood?
Yeah, I think so. But I won't say you really need to heap all that to a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, that when you get to 9, that's too far. They'll have forgotten. The thing is, you remember in our earlier discussion, we say a child is like a book.
Yeah.
That you will never, in fact, I think it's not a book you're opening to read. It's a book you're opening to research, not just to read. Page by page, edit, write, and all that. So you don't stop. So, and you can't jump to chapter 6 at chapter 2. When you need to be in chapter 2, just handle things that are in chapter 2. Just go step by step. So it's okay to expose your child to this, but at what age, at what stage? You already know, okay, they are now 9, they are approaching that, they are 10, they are approaching that, they are 12, they are 13. At each stage, you just walk with the child accordingly.
But that can only happen when the parent has a good rapport with the child.
Exactly. You've studied your child, you've been working with them since. But assuming maybe you haven't been doing that. And you're just realizing, she's a teenager now. He's a teenager now. What do I do? I never spoke about these things to him. Now it's a different story. The approach will be a bit different because that's where you find the kids start even to shy away. And also you don't know how to handle it. So when you see your boys like maybe, because sometimes these physical changes, emotional changes come with some kind of reactions and behaviors. There are outbursts. There's some kind of a behavior maybe you don't expect. they become irritable. And because you don't understand the changes in their system, in their body, you start scolding at your child, and then you start pushing them away. Yeah.
Okay, you talked of some children starting to experience this when they are 10 or 9. And you know, when you're 9, let's say that is class 5,
Hmm.
not really class 5, it's class 4, 5, rare
Yeah.
6,
Yeah.
and you started experiencing this. And you know, when you go to school, your fellow kids will be like, oh no, you wanna fulani amefanya. And then you mtoto anaanza kujikunja, anaanza kufeel
Oh, yeah.
they start developing identity issues. Now, how can a parent deal with such a case?
Such a case.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happens is you just need to come in and really build confidence in that kid, because I think it's a very critical age. Teenagehood is a very critical age where our identity now is more expressed in a child. And when they're experiencing this kind of maybe repulsion or criticism or wow, because even at times they may not be criticized. People may just be surprised at ish, kwani uko na matiti,
Oh, yeah.
and it could be friends, and then they shrink back. It looks like it's something shaming and all that. So I think as a parent, you just have to come in, talk to your child, and let the kid. The most important thing is for you to allow the child to know it's a normal growth, it's a normal development in our body. Keep expecting it. They will grow. Some grow bigger, some grow medium, some grow small. All this, just talk to the child, because as a parent, you've been through these changes yourself. So it's easier to relate to a child and assure the child, I've been there. This is how it was for me. Talk about even those times you ashamed yourself. Like I'm telling you, when the first time I experienced my menses, and I was like, what? I cried. And who did I call? I called my mom. So if she was able to explain to me, like, it's a process, it's a stage, we all go through it. I faced it. And when it comes, this is how you handle it. So it doesn't look like it's something abnormal, it's a disease, it's a sickness. No. So a most important thing, let them know it's normal. Once the child understands it's normal, they will flow with it. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about emotional changes. Uh, when they start experiencing these physical changes, uh, I guess it comes with the emotional changes. You find that one minute this child is very happy, but the next minute she's very gloomy or is very gloomy. Now, how can a parent handle that? Because sometimes the parent might be saying, huyu mtoto na yeye ni kama anakuwa kichwa ngumu. How should a parent handle that?
I think besides love, what most children lack is understanding. Not just children, even. People love to be understood. We hate to be misunderstood and misquoted. I'd love for you to understand when I'm crying. I don't want you to demean my tears or overlook them or see me as childish. Understand, am I crying from nimejigonga, nimeanguka, nimetukanwa, or what has really happened? But if I tell you, okay, fulani amenitusi, and then you're like, ni matusi tu inafanya unalia, you also make me feel stupid. But I'd like you to understand that I was called idiot. Am I an idiot? You need to understand me and help me understand. Because already when somebody is insulted, I'm using that as an example.
Yeah.
If you tell me I'm an idiot, and I thought I'm very clever, I'm very bright, I'm smart, I start thinking of myself as an idiot. I need somebody to assure me, first of all, I'm not an idiot. That was that person's opinion of me. But somebody's opinion of me doesn't define me. It will build my confidence first in me and even in you also as a parent. So I think understanding a teenager is very, very, very critical. And that is why I said when those changes come, and they come with hormonal changes too, and sometimes with hormonal changes, you don't have full control of it. You don't have full control of your hormones. There are times when, for instance, even ladies, you find it sometimes very gloomy, reactive, sensitive when they're in their menses, when they're periods. It's just like maybe when a woman is pregnant, she wants this, she doesn't want this, you know. So those are kind of changes that I think just come with development that needs to be understood. Understanding is the word. Not criticized, not downplayed, not rubbished off. So as a parent, when you understand, okay, my child, what's happening? They also sometimes, unfortunately, they don't understand. Sometimes I'm moody. I don't understand I'm moody. It will take you to tell me, hey, Glow, you're moody. What's up? Then I'll realize, oh, really? Am I? So, and at times I may not be able to tell the reason behind my moodiness because it's just a change. It's just a development within. So sometimes with that, at times they need your love, they need your understanding especially. At times they need space. At times they need talk. But having built a relationship with your child, you will be able to tell, do they need a talk? Do they need space? Do they just need understanding? You know? And you'll be able to offer it accordingly because you can't also say it's this that they need. Not every child needs to talk. Now it's time to talk to them. Or it's time to close them and give them time. No,
Yes.
sometimes you need just to deal them differently depending on time and who they are.
Okay, you talked of sometimes they need space. Maybe a parent might be talking to his child or a child, and it comes to a point where the child just walks away, and maybe he or she locks himself or herself in the room, and mzazi akimfuata, when the parent tries to knock, the child is like, just give me some space, I need to be alone. Now how can a parent handle that? Because some parents will be like,
Yeah, it's
fungua
annoying.
hapa wewe, mimi ni
Yeah.
mzazi wako. How should a parent handle
Actually,
that?
it's very annoying when my child walks out on me. It's very, very disrespectful. So, for one, I think I would urge even the youth or the singles, teenagers, no matter what, just never walk out on a parent. Never. It's very, very rude. And you can't explain that rudeness, like you can't excuse it. I'm talking to you as a parent, and you walk away. It's a rudeness that cannot be explained or excused. So I think I'll begin there. It's bad. Let's just not do that.
Yeah.
And in case it happens, because sometimes we don't have control of what our children respond to us.
Because
But I think the way you have raised your child, I don't think your 12-year-old, your 13-year-old, even my 18-year-old has a right to walk out on me. Because I think the best way will be, please, I don't want to talk about this now. Can we talk about it some other time? Then if a child tells you that, understand. Don't push, don't nag, don't dig it, because the more you push, the more you nag, they may decide to lie to you or to give you what you want to hear, you know, and instead of what is the real issue. So, but the best way to respond, I think, as a teenager, as a youth, as a child, it'll be if you don't feel like talking, talk to your parent, let your parent know, please take it respectfully. Tell your parent, please, can we talk about this some other time? I just need to be alone. And then your parent will excuse you, go to your room. But in case it has happened, your child has walked out. I may also not really have a direct answer or to what you should do as a parent, because it also depends on how you feel at that moment. Some parents will be calm, they will let it go. Some parents will feel so offended, and they all have a right to feel the way they're feeling. But sometimes you don't do a rather wrong to correct a wrong. They know you're your parent. You don't have to really bag the door and just da 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 da. Just, you know, because two wrongs don't make a right. So your child is up, don't go up with the child. You'll be like two fools together. Hold your peace. You're the wiser one. You're the better one. You're the bigger one. You're the bigger picture. So just be wise. Coming down doesn't mean you're stupid. No. You know, taking a lower level doesn't really mean you're stupid. That's what God did for us. He left heavens and came down to our dads. So as a parent, just leave your high ends. Calm down, give them space. But when they come out and they're ready to talk, make it clear that you're unhappy about them walking out on you. It's disrespectful, and you don't expect that of them. And of course, any good child will be remorseful and they'll be repentant. Yeah.
Oh, we're going for a short break, but when we'll be back, we'll be discussing more about physical and emotional changes that occur in teens. Don't go anywhere because Gloria will be here to give us more information about this.
Whereas God may have instructed us to do some things, hear this today, the transport must remain correct. Whatever we begin, whether of God or not of God, it will begin somehow. But hear this, beloved of God, only what Jehovah has authorized will stand the test of time. And me and you as a believer must be careful, because the seductive powers of the devil will always try to come to us to take an advantage of what God is doing to answer our problem.
When you enter the presence,
unapoingia uweponi,
you don't again desire to come out.
hautamani tena kuondoka.
It is your responsibility to maintain yourself,
Ni jukumu lako kujitunza pale,
to make sure
kuhakikisha
that you dwell there
kwa kwamba unadumu pale
by doing the will of God.
kwa kufanya mapenzi ya Mungu.
Wewe ni Mungu mweza yote, mwenye enzi na
Jesus said,
Yesu akasema,
a man must be born again
kama mwanadamu lazima azaliwe mara ya pili
if anyone wants to inherit the kingdom.
kama yeyote anataka kurithi ufalme,
He or she must be born again.
lazima huyo mtu azaliwe mara ya pili.
Haijalishi waliyosema kwako, haijalishi mapito yako, usiangalie historia yako ndugu.
Welcome back. We're still going on with the discussion that is physical and emotional changes that occurs in teens. It's a very interesting topic and very sensitive. Oh, Gloria, there's something that comes with these physical and emotional changes. Some parents, I don't want to say they don't kind of appreciate it. They'll be like rude sometimes. Sometimes they might be moody. Sometimes they might be calm. But there's some parents who, I don't want to say they are short-tempered or something, but maybe a parent is talking to his or a child, and then the child is kind of rude or decides to do something to annoy the parent. Now, how should a parent handle this? Because some parents will be like, siku hizi unaona umekuwa mkubwa sana, sauti imeanza kukua. And the child will be like, okay, is there
Manipulation,
something
wrong.
that is happening to me that is wrong? Now, how should a parent handle such a case?
Yeah, I would say, I'm sorry, this may be a bit tough, hard. Unfortunately, with this generation, mostly, we have children who have become parents.
Yeah.
So children are parenting children. Now, it's hard to deal with a child to deal with a child. In as much as you gave birth to me, but especially like maybe, and they really don't have the wisdom, the knowledge on even how to raise their kids. And some of the raising, the way our parents were raised, it was very militant. And they assume they can also raise this generation in a militant way. So, and I think it's just a wrong approach, especially when it gets to a place when, as a parent, you raise your voice and you start now using a blessing against your child. Because when your child is growing, transiting from stage A to B, it's a blessing. Now, you don't use that against a child. Unaona umemea matiti sasa umeanza kuona tunatoshana, tuko wanawake wawili kwa hii nyumba. Imagine a mother telling a child, a daughter, that. Then now we are two women in this house because you have breasts. The first thing like this girl is like, really? So you see me as your rival. In fact, now there are thoughts. In fact, with that statement alone, there are 1,000,001 thoughts that have crossed your daughter's mind. She will not speak them out, but they have crossed. In fact, she will start to deal with your husband, who is her dad, like he needs equal attention, like he's your rival, And then the idea, even now men, the way she will start to handle men, because you've called her a woman, you're equal already. You have planted a very bad seed in this girl. A father, you want to tell your boy now, unaona umemea ndevu, unaanza wanawake, there's a better approach. No matter how angry you are, as a parent, never just use a development on your child against them, no matter how angry you are. Calm down. That will always just be because in your moment of anger, in a moment of reaction, you will say things that tomorrow you will regret because you can't swallow the words back. There are things I heard at a certain stage in my life. I'll never be able to erase those statements. And to some point, unfortunately, there are those moments when those words just haunt me. How could my dad tell me this? There are those moments. So in as much as you find you're growing, you are having your own life, but that thing just draws you back. And if God doesn't help you, it will create a barrier. It will create a wall between you and your parents. And it may end up ruining your life. So as a parent, I think it's very, very good to just know how to talk to your child no matter how hungry you are. And never use their breasts, their devus, their breaking of voices against them. No, it's an insult. It's okay. It's different when I give my child, okay, maybe she answered me rudely or something. I'll call my child. After all, I gave birth to you anyway. That fact doesn't change. I'm still your mother. That, daughter, you're still my child. And please, in as much as you're growing, this and this and this is my expectation of you. And this direction you're taking, I'm not happy about it. You're talking, you're reasoning. And your girl, because there's a time you can use a kiboko on a child, and it's okay, it's permitted. But a kid reaches a certain stage, you can't use a cane on them. You have to use wisdom and words. Very calculative in your words. Because those same words, they will use it against you. So, and you talk to your daughter or your son, and they will hear. The truth is, and one of the beautiful things with teenagers or with these kids, when you give them truth and facts, at times they behave like, in fact, they'll be agitating, they're just moving in their seats as if, maliza, nataka unani waste your time, they're giving you that kind of an attitude. Kwani unaniambia, kwani najua, mbuyu ulisema hiyo kitu jana, nisikia, wacha kurudia. They're giving you that kind of attitude. They're not saying it. But the thing is, no matter what they're doing like this, the thing is sinking. It's sinking. And they know how to read it when it's coming out of love and out of anger and malice. Because when it's out of anger and malice, actually they repel. they will repel the statement and they became rebellious. But when it's out of love, no matter the agitation, no matter their reaction, the thing is sinking. In their own quiet time, they know mom spoke sense to me, dad spoke sense to me. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk of teens who not really leave aside the teens now. Let's talk about the parents. There's some parents who are very busy to an extent that they don't notice when something is happening to their kid. That is the physical and emotional changes. Some parents don't notice. How should a parent handle uh, such a case? Not really parents, but teens. She's by her own because the father is busy, the mother is busy. I'm just here with the house girl or the houseboy. Now, who should, I don't want to say who should the girl share or talk to, but how should a parent know when there's something that is wrong with the child when you're too busy? Yeah.
I think this is my take. You can never be too busy for your child. It's a wrong notion. This is the culture we are living in right now, but it's very, very wrong. And I think it just needs to be corrected. Because the more we keep on giving that excuse of I'm too busy with career, with work, with what, you find at the end of the day, all that you spend your energy, your time, your resources building, it crumbles.
Okay. Let me cut you short first.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. Maybe a child is trying to share what is happening in his or her life
Okay.
to the parent. Then the parent is like, we ngoja babako umwambie, we ngoja mamako umwambie. How should a parent or a teen deal with
that?
such?
The thing is, how they will deal with it, normally how they deal with it is unpredictable. Because we are different temperaments, we react differently to things. You know, because an extrovert will react differently. He can go and unleash it to other friends, to his friends, you know, and he will feel okay. An introvert will shut up and just close themselves. So the two will deal very differently with that kind of an attitude, a busy parent or a busy whatever. So, but what I think the young people should just learn to do is, let me say this, I don't think the responsibility, because this is a teenager, this responsibility doesn't fully lie on the child. It lies on the parent. And that's why I want to address a parent first on this before the teenager. Because it is the response of the parent that determines how a teenager runs their lives. And like I was saying, a parent should never be busy for the parent. Learn to listen at whatever time. And even if you're too busy that time, this is not the way to shut them. I'm too busy. I talk to your dad. Wait for your dad. Wait for your mom. Or tell your mother when you know. The thing is, can I just finish what I'm doing and then if you're actually busy, you're engaged, you're into something. But do you know, it's an opportunity, it's a gift when you find a teenager wants to open up to a parent. So, and I think what I wanted to say was your child is your first business, is your first assignment, is your first career in life. So you don't go building other things at the expense of your child. So that is your first call. So anytime they call, it's important to excuse other things and attend to this one. And so a parent, I think the parent there just needs to wake up, because teenagehood, transiting into that stage, even if you are not a friend to your child, you know, kids forget things and it's okay. At times the kids can overlook some things, but teenagehood, it's a very, very sensitive, that's a defining moment. When a child now decides, this is the path I'm taking. And when they don't have the right guidelines, you don't hold their hands in their teenagehood to lead them. That is why we have a lot of teenage pregnancies, boys impregnating girls, drugs and dropping out of schools and all that, a lot of messes. Why? Because at their most sensitive age, you are too busy for them. And so I think it's a wider thing. The topic that needs to be covered on how parents should come into that. But for a teenager, I think what you need to do is, if you're born again, love to talk to God. Just learn to talk to the Holy Spirit. He's always the best companion. The thing is, what you're going through, you know, God is not just concerned about your salvation and you going to heaven. He's concerned about that moment you feel you want to go and sleep with a boy or you want to go and sleep with a girl. He's concerned about your sexuality. He's concerned about your mood swings. He's concerned about your pimples. He's concerned about your breaking of voices, your discomfort about it. So, and he doesn't just listen to bishops and pastors or your dad or your mom. God listens to you too. So I would also say, I will encourage the young people, in as much as we also long so much for friendship with our parents, learn to also develop and cultivate a friendship with the Lord and the Holy Spirit. He can be talked to at any time. And the truth is, he answers. He's very practical. He comes into your situation. He will comfort you. He will guide you. He will correct you. In that moment, you will just get inspirations on what to do. Yeah.
Topic is becoming interesting, but unfortunately we are running out of time. So please just share your social handles where people can find you.
Okay, yeah. This is Gloria Mugello. Like you've told, you can reach me, especially when you're going through some of these things. I can be available to you. You can reach me on 0721 862 408. 0721 862 408. You can go also on my YouTube channel, Gloria Wonderful Mugallo. There's so much stuff there you can share. You can find of help. I have 2 books in my hands, very mini books. You can read them in one sitting. First edition and second edition on Singles for Purity. As a parent, you need to get this, read it and give it to your children. And your children also need to have a copy. There's a prayer of commitment, like a vow here. As a youth, you can take it and just decide, I want to live for the Lord in purity. So I want us to understand that purity is very doable. And if you have messed before, it's okay. We can always start all over again. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for watching Riverside Council with me, Caroline Bide. And as we have been told by Gloria, please, we need to embrace and appreciate our teenagers so that and at least create a rapport where a teenager may feel comfortable sharing out things with you as a parent. Till next time, I was your host, Caroline Bide.